Good afternoon. How are we doing? You guys groovy? We are at the start of yet another week. Good morning, kinda. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, or good morning, wherever you are in the world. How's it going? You guys good? Did you sleep well, Tailsers? Have you even been to bed? I'm sure you have. I have been to bed. That wasn't an admission or anything. We are back. We are live. Should be a reasonably simple week this week, all things considered. Don't know about any of you. You got difficult weeks ahead? You got simple weeks ahead? Last week was crazy. Absolutely crazy. All of those Emperor's children. Lots of Emperor's Children content coming your way this week. And I thought about maybe painting the Demon Prince today. But I figured let's just build some Forge World, you know? It's got to be done. It's got to be done at some point, so I might as well get on with it and do it. You know? So that's what we're going to be doing today. We've got Evander, Garrius, and Sigismund to do. One of them has instructions and the other does not, which is fun. It's my favourite, as you know. So it would make sense to build Garrius first, but I think the one that is generally that has been asked for, which is Sigismund, is probably the one we're going to start with, and get him built, and see where we go from there. So yeah, it's going to be a nice, chilled out, relaxing stream, hanging out with me, and obviously chat, and Batman, who's also here. Hello, Batman. How's it going? You come to see your super chats at work. Good evening, Demogorgon. How you doing? Good afternoon, Ymail Langmar. Evander is such a cool model. He is, Jack. I like it a lot. I like this because I'm pretty certain doing Garrius, and Sigismund will mean that because I did Fafnir Ran and Rogel Dawn, because they're both done, it means I would have done the raft of heresy characters for the Imperial Fists. I could be wrong. There might be another one that I don't know about. Oh no, there's Alexis Pollux, isn't there? Yeah. I haven't done Pollux. I always forget that he has a model, even though he's one of the best characters in the Heresy. I like him a lot. Especially him and Barabbas d'Antioch. Chilling out. Lighting a bloody great wood warp bacon. Warp bacon? Warp beacon. Sigismund before Alfie. Interesting. Alfarius is built, Batman. What I haven't had is the time to paint him because of Fulgrim. Blame Fulgrim, really. It's all Fulgrim's fault. But now we get Sigismund built. And they're both built. I can get on with doing some other stuff, including Alfarius. But yeah, Alfarius is all built. He's ready for his close up. Just need to do it. But yeah, so Fulgrim came first. But Fulgrim is now done. As was Lucius and the Flawless Blades and the Lord Cacophonist, all of which are videos that you will be able to see on this very channel very soon. In the very near future, in fact, they'll be happening this week and maybe next week as well. It depends on the release schedule. It also depends on how productive I am this week. Last week took it out of me a little bit. Last week was quite intense. We had a lot of stuff to do. And like I say, I think I was talking about it on Tales very briefly last night. I was in London Saturday. So I had to get the sprue review video edited on the Friday, which meant that I had to have everything finished on the Friday, which meant I lost a day. So I was painting breakneck speed to get things done a week before. A day without missing a day. So, but I feel like we did a pretty good job. Have you done an Abaddon? I have, Batman. Well, I've done the 40k one. I haven't done the Heresy version. Thank you for your painting channel. I learnt a lot from you, and even my friend says the models I paint are absolutely beautiful things to you. You can probably expect a few people coming to look at you. Oh, lovely, operator. Desert Rat, thank you very much. Good evening, Chris. Need to reignite my hobby mojo. Just finished building of the Rohirrim terrain box set. That sounds awesome, Gorgon. I want the Rohan terrain box set. I don't have it. I love that Rohan terrain. It's sick. Right. Is that how that goes together? I mean, it looks like that's how that goes together. It's certainly interesting. This box set is going to Mr. Joe. Oh, Joe's a very lucky boy, isn't he? You're very generous. Are there any plans for the Sanctifiers kill team getting a tutorial in the future? So the reason I didn't do the Sanctifiers for the release of Blood and Zeal was because nobody asked for them. And now that Blood and Zeal is out, everyone wants a tutorial for them. So I hadn't originally planned to do them. They are built, they are primed, in the event that was going to be something that people did want to see. this week is a possibility that I can do them. There's a couple of other things I have to do, but I might get it done this week. We shall have to see. It takes just, you know, it's 11 models and they're all completely different, so that's basically 3 days worth of work, which is a significant chunk of time, especially in my line of work. So yeah, I do want to do them. It's just finding the time to do them. Thanks for your kind words last night. By the time you got to me, I was half asleep. I put a lot of effort into Evander and Sigismund. Other model you're going to make me get. Another model you're going to make me get. Maybe. I might do a really bad job on it, though, so you might be like, nah, it's rubbish. I don't want that model. I got a question. Have you ever heard of the miniature provisionally prepared? Yes, I have heard of it. Hello, Sylvester of Terror. I'm very well. How are you? Good morning / evening, Josh, and all in chat. Sorry that I'm late. How is everyone's Monday going? I've been quite busy today. I've been painting away. I've got more stuff to get on with painting after. And more stuff to get on with painting after that. I have a lot of painting to do. Such is the life. Such is the life. Hello, Plasma Rifle app. Hello, Steve. Do you have a tutorial for provisionally prepared? I don't, but what I do have is a tutorial on how to paint ratlings. The new ratlings. So if you check out that one, that will tell you how to paint provisionally prepared. That will help you. Can you actually paint something badly? Yes. It's possible. Ooh, what's this button do? That button lets you celebrate how long you've been supporting me, Demogorgon. And the answer is 14 months, which is an incredible amount of support. Thank you so much. That is very generous and kind of you. If you would like to be able to press that same button that Demogorgon has just pressed, then consider becoming a member of the channel, as it is a great way to support me in everything that I do. Or you can do exactly like Demogorgon has just done and gift 5 of the finest Warhipster memberships, like an absolute boss. That is incredibly kind of you, Demogorgon. Thank you very much. You're kicking us off tonight. And then Edward705 with a gifted membership as well. Boom. 416. Let's go, baby. 4 away from 420. Is there something in particular that you absolutely want, but it's too insanely expensive to get that? If I got it for you, I would then have an iron grip on getting everything I wanted for in the future. Honestly, at this point, I don't think there is. I have a Warlord Titan, which is kind of like, you know, the big one, really. I mean, look, there's things like the Thunderhawk and all that, but there's no chance in the universe that I would ever build a Thunderhawk, because apparently it's not only awful, it's also resin. So I flat don't want it. I want someone to deliver a fully perfectly built Thunderhawk to me down the chimney, as it were, for Christmas. Simon, Kassakin soon, no rush. Yeah, I do need to do them. Yeah, I am gonna revisit the Guard. I've got Hell's Last to do. That is a thing that needs to get done. So when I get a second to do Hell's Last, I will also do the Kazakin. And then we should be able to do the tank as well, because I saw there was a question about that last week as well, of how would you do the Baneblade, and I'm like, I haven't had the time. It went from Guard straight into Eldar, then I had a mental breakdown, and then we've been just, there's Emperor's Children, and Death Rattle, and Emperor's Children, and other things that are coming in the future as well, of which I cannot tell you about. I'm currently doing the fancy blending part of your Alchemite Warforged recipe, and it looks pretty good. Oh, that sounds awesome, Steve. Conversion of Bard's extended family. No. Look, MESBG content is coming. Trust me. There's lots of MESBG content. I was going to ask Josh, you have a huge Titan, so what other more expensive model is there? We'd love to see you do a Thunderhawk, but like you said, general consensus is that it is horrible to build. I know. I know. Any chance of you doing Angels of Death and or Death Guard kill teams at some point? I actually did do the Angels of Death kill team. I did the what's it called? I did the Space Marines side of that. I painted it in my own scheme, which is why you might not have seen it. I did it as I came up with my own scheme, and it terrified me doing that video. Guess I need to send this Stormbird back. Bought the wrong one. No, you need to hang on to that, because that goes out of print all the time. It could be worth, you know, could be worth a pretty penny. But no, I mean, that's the thing, is like, I think for me at this point on my hobby journey, where I'm at with Warhammer is, I have pretty much all of everything that I ever wanted. At this point, it's just like, there's projects and stuff I'd love to do, which are extremely, extremely expensive, naturally. But the problem is doing them. It's like finding the time to do them. It's really tricky. Because I've got a business I have to be worried about, you know. Like taking off a month to paint 2,000 points of Imperial Fist is not a good idea when you're trying to run a record label. Not that I am trying to run a record label, you understand. Drop pods, woohoo, right? Well, I mean, look, if drop pods are getting a new model, that would lead me to believe that whenever this new book that comes out that they keep teasing, which at this point I'm pretty convinced is Codex Space Marines version 2, that what will come with that is drop pods, Assault Terminators, and Vanguard Veterans. Because those are the bits that are missing, and it's weird that they're missing, so there's going to be more than just drop pods that will come with that book, I guarantee you. I guarantee it. Hello, Captain Mannerings. Would you consider doing an Alpha Legion CSM? It's notoriously difficult to nail them down. I've done around 5,000 points myself. Would like to see how you would push them. I've done an Alpha Legion Mark 6 Space Marine. That's how I would do them. And I've also done... I'm going to be doing Alfarius hopefully this week, so... Hopefully that will help. Joe has a contact who builds the resin kits. He cheated and got someone to build his for him. Liam's planning on doing the same. Cowards. Well, I have somebody who builds resin kits for me as well. Well, not this type of resin kit. I built this type of resin kit. So the resin kits that we are currently working on are these. I'll show you guys. There we go. So we have Evander, Garrius, and Sigismund here, as you can see. A nightmare of resin. A lovely nightmare of resin, but a nightmare of resin nonetheless. And Sigismund comes without instructions, which is always great. So the question is, like, where does all the stuff go? You know? So, like, this is Sigismund, that's Sigismund, this is Sigismund, this is Sigismund. And then I'm pretty certain the rest of this... Oh no, that's Sigismund as well. I'm pretty certain this is Evander Garrius, who does come with instructions. There they are. Which is nice, isn't it? How was Fulgrim to paint? Long. Fulgrim took me 2 days. The Cacophonus took me about 3/4 of a day. Lucius took me a day. Fulgrim took 2 days. And the Flawless Blades took me a day and a half. As for hours, I couldn't possibly tell you. Was it all you hoped and dreamed, Fulgrim? It grew. The model grew on me. That's for sure. The model grew on me as I painted it. He's an interesting one, that new Fulgrim one, because I think the way he's photographed from the top down doesn't make him actually look that cool. But if you look at him like from the bottom up, like if you angle him up that way, he then looks really scary and cool. I can show you what I mean in a second. I'll go and grab the model and you guys can see what I'm talking about. And like painting him was fine. I was particularly proud, and I don't know if any of what I've shared actually really shows it off very well. But I was particularly proud of how the wings came out. On the inside and the outside. But I'll go and get him in a second. You can have a look. You sir are a goddamn machine. Yeah, well, yeah. I try. Did you ever get the Angron Transcended model? I don't think it's out yet, is it? Is it out? Have to run as I am teaching in a minute, but we'll catch up later. Have a good stream, loves. Oh, I'll see you in a bit, Tom. Thank you for hanging out briefly. Hang on a minute. There's him. Flawless Blades, Flawless Blades, Flawless Blades. No idea what I just knocked over, but it didn't sound important. Oh. So here we go. I don't really have anywhere to put this. Okay, so here is Lucius. So I think the Lucius model in particular is probably my favourite of the stuff that came out. I'm a big fan of how I managed to do this armour. I hope you will be a fan of it because it's really very simple. So I think he's my favourite of the models. So there he is. There is Lucius the Eternal. So that's one. Lord Cacophonist. He's an interesting one as well. There you go. Went for the double pistol on him. He can just have a single pistol, and he can just have and a power sword. And there's 3 pistols in the box, so you can get a little bit of extra variation in there as and when you want it. But he's very cool. I like him. He's quite an impactful model, especially when you put him amongst your what's it called? Noise Marines. He looks really good. So there he is. There's the older Cacophonist. Now, one thing I was really, really pleased about was the flawless blades. And I really like this sword recipe that we've got. I'll drop 5 gifted in the chat if anyone can guess what it is. But that's one flawless blade. Flawless blade number 2. There you go. And then flawless blade number 3. There you go. And then naturally, the big one himself. So here's the thing about this guy, right? So with Fulgrim, you see a lot of photos of him, like at that angle. But if you tilt him like this, he looks absolutely fantastic. See? So it's just that versus that. You see that all the time, and it looks kind of lame. But as soon as you go, whoop, it looks great. But yeah, there he is. There's Fulgrim. I want everyone, when you watch this video, I want you to pay special close attention to this, because I went for a pearlescent finish, and that's all done with contrast paint. And I was really pleased with how it came out. Oh yeah, so like the wings, see how it blends into the green at the top, but then the back of the wings, whoa, the green everywhere, green all day. So yeah, there you go. That is the big man. So there you go. And actually, the color palette on him isn't enormous. Like, it looks like there's hundreds of colors on there. There actually isn't. It's a fairly reasonable amount of colors I've used on this one. At least I think it is. As I was going through, because you know, I don't want to. Anyway, I can confirm that none of you have got the sword recipe right. Hello, Reza. Would you like me to tell you what the sword recipe was? I can tell you. I'll tell you. Some people have got one of the colors. one of the colours involved is Luxion purple. So the sword is done by coating it with Grey Knight's steel. It is then has Space Wolves grey over the top, and then it's, I think it was 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 Larmian medium Luxion purple placed over it, and then just wiped off towards the tip, and then it's been highlighted with Ironbreaker. But there you go. Purple over Grey Knight steel looks amazing. Because Grey Knight steel, don't know if you know this, if you let Grey Knight steel separate, the colour that you see in it is purple. So yeah, all of those videos will be dropping over the next week. One will be tomorrow. Then there'll be one on Thursday and Friday. And there'll be one on Saturday as well. What's that? That's Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That would be all 4. So either I'll do 2 this... 2 this week and 2 next week, or we'll do, I don't know. Again, it depends how productive I am this week. However, the Fulgrim video will be dropping very, very, very soon. Probably drop it tomorrow, and just hope that it does well. Because it might not. What is Grey Knight steel? How is it different from the other silvers? I will show you. This is Grey Knight steel. That's Grey Knight steel. If I just open it, it looks thusly. This is an old pot of Grey Knight steel. But yeah, that's what it looks like. What was I doing? Oh yeah, cleaning up resin. Let's go back here. You can look at my face for a bit. Hello. Speaking of swords, how would you do the Kavalos Centauri from Terratic? Oh God, I don't know. Let me have a look. Terratic cohort. Oh, it's them. And I'm guessing that the Kavalos Centauri is the one with on horse. How would I do that? Looks green to me. I think what I would probably do for that is... One moment, caller. These ones. By the way, the owl came with the Dryad sprue, as well as a couple of little spirits and sprites. The Tree Lord sprue includes one too, but different type. It's been so long since I built any of those. But thank you very much for the £5 there, Fake Street Spirit. But yeah, the Lycus tutorial. That's the video I would use to paint those swords, because it's the same colours. The colour placement's a little different, but sorry I'm late, buddy. Had a bit of bad news about my doggo, so I've been trying to compose oneself. Oh, you don't have to do that. You don't have to be a stoogie. I'm sorry. There's no requirement for you to be here at all. repeat the sword recipe, please. It's Grey Knight Steel, shaded with Space Wolves Grey. And then I think it's 1-to-1 or 2-to-1. I can't remember what the ratio was. It's in the video. We'll find out when I edited it. Lahmian Medium to Luxion Purple. Apply that over the entirety of the blade. Then wipe it off at the end, giving it that sort of blend into the blue. And then highlight the whole thing with Iron Breaker. You help. Oh, well, as long as I do help. As long as it's useful for you to be here. That is the main thing. Hello, Mr. Quatkin. How you doing? Guys, you're smashing the likes. Can we get to 50 likes on the stream? Can we do that together? And do you know what? Just because I can. For the effort, I'll give 5 memberships. Boom. Thank you for engaging in my game. There you go. See, I put us over the comedy number. Will you build and paint the new Cathay Old World box set when it releases? If Games Workshop sends it to me, I will. If not, then I will maybe pick up the ones I want, which are some of the Jade Warriors and the Dragon. I will 100% pick those up. I will do my best, though. I'll do my best to make sure that the Cathay stuff is covered in some way, shape, or form. They haven't sent us a lot of Old World things. The only things I've received Old World-wise have been the Tomb King's box when it first came out and the Illyrian Reavers. So I'm not holding my breath. But yeah, I will try my best to do some of the Cathay stuff as and when it comes out. It is all time dependent. It is all whether or not Games Workshop sends it to me as well. But if they do, rest assured there will be a sprue review and all that good stuff as well that will come out alongside it. Because it would be really good to have a look at those sprues. And to also have a look at, you know, just like what it's like for a completely brand new set of plastic miniatures for the old world. Because I gotta tell you guys, the Illyrian Reavers sprues were pants. They were not good. And building the skeletons from 1998 wasn't fun either. The Necrolith Bone Dragon wasn't fun to build. The only one I've enjoyed so far building for the old world is the Tomb King on foot. That guy, the infantry character, because he was fine. He was fine to put together. Stoogie, thank you very much for the 5 gifted Warhipster memberships. Legendary support. We're already on 16 new members today. Longma or Yao Ming Dragon? The new one. I don't remember the names. I've decided that my brain shall not hold information that I cannot hold at the expense of painting information until the model is in my possession. And if the model's in my possession, then I remember it. Or I try to, at least. Yeah, I just can't remember much of anything at the moment. My brain's just a bit overtaxed, shall we say, at the moment. I've been very, like I said, last week was crazy, the amount of stuff that we did. There's just a lot going on. You had an earthquake in California. It was a 6.5 earthquake and it was scary. It's been a while since we had a strong one like that. Wow. I'm sorry, Vladdy and Moku Moku. I don't speak German. I assume that's what you're speaking. Top tips for painting Grombrindle. Unfortunately, that is one of those models that I have and I haven't got around to yet. So I don't have enough knowledge about painting him. But I would recommend, whilst painting Grombrindle, whilst the temptation will be to start with the beard and the hair, because it's quite a significant part of the model, I would actually do those as the last part, so that you're not trying to avoid them the whole way around, as it were. That's the order of operations for him. Because it's a really bright colour, basically. That would be what I would recommend. Full Fulgrim, would you capitulate on your no sub-assemblies rule if you were to do it again? Maybe. The only one I would consider is leaving the head off. But otherwise, he's generally pretty easy to get around. He's very open, very, very open model. Hello, go for it painting. Also, let me just clarify. It's not a no sub-assemblies rule. It's a sub-assemble when needed. If you were to build this in order of components, it is a very strange way to put together a model. Good evening, Jungle Camper. Carl Erber, thank you to whoever gifted me the membership. That was Stoogie. Thank you, Captain Manrings. What's an optional? Oh, an optional part is the heads. Well, we're definitely going to give him the helmet. Did you pay Eternus? I think I missed this video. I did indeed. There is an Eternus video on the channel. It should be there somewhere. Contrast plus how to paint Eternus Blade of the First Prince. Should be there somewhere. I'll show you something that I learned actually very recently. Because I'm an idiot. I'm really bad at this job. You know this, right? So, if we go for future reference, if you are on my channel and you're thinking, I don't know if he has a video on something, what you can do, you probably already know this, right? But if you're on my channel, right, there's a little magnifying glass just here. If you guys can see my my cursor, little magnifying glass there, and you can just go here, and there it is. And it gives you a lot of other stuff. I only learnt about it about a week ago, Keith. And I work here. Who was your favourite Demon Primarch to paint? Angron, probably. Angron, I think, has been my favourite Demon Primarch model. Of the 4. That being said, I haven't done a Mortarion in his box art scheme. I've only ever done Mortarion in Pallid Hand. And I was thinking, like, with the upcoming Death Guard release, that I might see if I can move some cash around and pick up a Mortarion to do like the proper color scheme for him. That is a very big maybe, because I have no idea when that book's coming out and I'm very busy at the moment. So adding another Demon Primarch to the paint queue is a tricky one. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm also kind of tempted to try and put together, whenever that book comes out, to try and put together a what's it called? A Roticus video. I don't know what one's more valuable. But we'll find. Well, I'll figure it out. Don't worry. I always do. We always figure it out. We always find the time eventually. People don't know how to search. No, it's that specific search bar. I didn't know that bar existed on. Well, it exists on every YouTube channel. So you can use that for anyone. Like if you're watching. I don't know if you're watching. Well, if you're watching Liam, for example, and you want to see some of his previous Eldar battle reports, you can go on there. Little search bar on each channel. Where you can just type the word Eldar and it'll bring everything up Eldar. I have convinced Mr. Watkin to come to UK Games Expo. He didn't take much convincing, but we also convinced Mr. Reza to come to UK Games Expo. Adam said that he was interested in going, but he's had a baby recently, so it's unlikely that we'll see him. Pennywater. Hey Josh, I know you paint a ton of models each year. Do you keep them or work commissions? What do you do with all of those painted models? The vast majority of them are kept. Some of them historically have been commissions. I now no longer run a commission business because it's not worthy of my time, basically. It's a lot of stress, and it means that I don't get to do what I want to do. I get to do what the commission customer wants me to do. So I now no longer do commissions. The only commissions I do are prizes or Patreon top tier benefits. However, all of this being said, a lot of the models just sort of live on a table or on a shelf. But one thing I need to do before we move, and we don't know when that's going to be or where we're going yet, but I need to have a big old clear out of a lot of painted models. So, and unpainted ones as well, to be fair. We have so many of those. You see all of the painted ones, there is that again times 3 of unpainted models as well that all needs to go. So there will be at some point. I was talking a little while ago about doing a car boot sale type thing. I just, I haven't got the headspace at the moment to figure out how that would actually work. So if the reason you're asking is because you wish to own a piece of Warhipster history, it will happen. However, usually when I say, "Oh, I'm thinking about selling some models," you all want the ones I don't want to sell. But that will... The great sell-off will be in aid of 1, so that I don't have to move it, and 2, it will be in aid of us of my setting up of the new studio whenever that happens, or wherever that is, because that's going to cost money. And I'm sure there will be a degree of professional begging that happens, for lack of a better word. But I'd rather... There's a couple of events and things I want to do to try and raise the cash for that. Once I know kind of roughly what the budget I'm looking at in order to get the studio set up how I want it to be able to do the things that I want to do going forward. 100%. I'm dabbling with early stages of content creation and was interested in it. I'm already running out of room. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, that is going to be an issue. Unless you choose to part ways with all of your videos, with your video content, with the stuff you make for videos. Or invest in some storage options. And all I will say, what I will say is, if anybody out there knows personally any brands that would like to support a Warhipster video that shows off their cases and storage options, that would be titled somewhere in the region of storage to fit 1,000 models, because that's what we're looking at here. then let them know. Tell them to come find me. They can sell their cases to nearly 83,000 people currently. You know? Just saying. Just saying. I think I'm suffering from hobby burnout. Just spent the last 6 weeks prepping for an event. It went great, but I feel exhausted just thinking about hobby now. Yeah, that is absolutely fair. You are tired. That's exactly what I went through a couple of weeks ago. We had 60 days worth of daily content, and I couldn't do any more. That was me just being like, nope, this is the end. I can't do it anymore. I'm over. I'm done. You probably are suffering, but don't worry, it does pass. You just need some time to not be thinking about hobby. Got stoked about drop pods this morning, then I read the comments. Oh, James. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm stoked about drop pods. That's really exciting. I will say this, like the drop pods, whilst it doesn't sound like a particularly exciting thing, there's other stuff that's coming with it. 100% there is. They're not just going to go, here's drop pods and that's it. There will be 2 or 3 other things. I guarantee you that's what's happening. Otherwise, they wouldn't be previewing them this far out. So that's really exciting in and of itself. Maybe we're going to get some cooler stuff for the Space Marines. Maybe this is finally where we get some new things. I doubt it. I suspect it's going to be Assault Terminators and Vanguard Veterans will also be accompanying the drop pods. Anyway, the point I'm making is I have always wanted to do drop pod assault as an army, but buying that many drop pods and doing that many drop pods just made me feel weak at the knees. So this is one of those occasions where I would probably put them into my Blood Angels, or depending on what else is coming out alongside those drop pods, it might go into either my Imperial Fists or my Salamanders. I don't know yet, but one of them is going to definitely get that kind of thing going on. Like, I'm really excited for them. Trust me, James. I am stoked about it. I think they're great, and you get 2 in a box, so that's just more economical. That's what they said in the article. Both of those things would be exciting. Yes, both of those Assault Terminators and Vanguard Veterans would be exciting because it would mean that 11th edition's Space Marines will be something cool. Quick questions. Watched a couple tutorials last night for Eltharion. Would you recommend using Larmian for the Recess Armor Wash or Wildwood now? Or still use Contrast Medium? That's a really, really good question. Give me just a second. Can you tell me at what point I did that in the video? Because I'm going to go look at it. Because it might be that the answer now is use Agrax Earthshade. The Light of Eltharion. This is such a sick model. Five to 1 contrast medium. I see it. Yeah, I think the answer to your question is use Agrax Earthshade. Even easier. People were being so negative about it. Yeah, well, they're going to be. Still recess washing the shape. Yeah. Still do it the recess way. But yeah, just use Agrax. You don't need to thin it down. I would suggest. Where do you think they should go with Marines in 11th edition, though? I think they should transition back to creating opportunities for new types of Space Marines that fulfill roles but are specifically related to fulfilling that role. I like things like Eradicators and Suppressors, and I like Inceptors. You know, they're not these kind of jack of all trades, masters of none. They're specialists that sit within an army, and I think that's a very, very cool thing. I would like them to really heavily focus on doing Gravis stuff, but because I love Gravis armor. I think Gravis armor is sick. But you know, a boy can dream. I need space to hang up my Lord of the Rings swords and my new God of War Deluxe Hand Reforged Ragnarok Leviathan axe and other stuff I have gone overboard. Yeah, space is always a problem, isn't it? It's the thing we run out of very quickly as collectors and hobbyists. Gravis Librarian. Yeah. I'd like a pure Gravis siege combat unit. It's what I wanted instead of Terminators. I wanted Gravis dudes with massive like boarding shields and seismic hammers that come in like a unit of 3, and they just, you know, they smash stuff. That's what I wanted, and I didn't get it. So I went on Facebook and let everybody know what I thought. No, I didn't. I went on YouTube and went on 2 years later, told you what I wanted. I want a Gravis style Devastator squad. 5 heavy bolters all in a squad. That's what I want. I want that kind of thing. I want a new super heavy, not super heavy, but like a new, almost Land Raider-esque transport for transporting the heavier guys as well. I know the repulsor does exist, but I'd like a big bus, a big bus load of Space Marines. I want to be able to fit 20 normal dudes or 10 Gravis Marines in it. And as already mentioned, I'd like a Gravis Librarian. A Gravis Lieutenant as well, actually, would be really sick. I see Demogorgon just said there, gimme Gravis and Termi Lieutenants. You had another one, Yndrasta, where you use Cryptek Armor Shade Gloss. What would you use now? That's a question. That is a difficult one, because there is a lot of times where I still have a pot of Cryptek Armor Shade Gloss, and I want to use it all the time, but I can't because it's not available anymore. You can make your own by kind of like, if you take some Ardcoat and you thin it down with Lamia Medium, like 3 or 4 parts, like make it really thin, and then mix in Agrax Earthshade, you can get basically Agrax Earthshade gloss, but there isn't a brown wash that's equivalent to Cryptek Armor Shade. That is something that you can do, but it does have to be real thin, that Ardcoat, for it to work. I wish they would give us some better Space Wizard rules, because Librarians were one of the main reasons I got into this in 10th edition, and then it was just guns with drawbacks. I completely agree. I think the Psychic phase needs to make a triumphant return. And I think they should take They should take a cue from how AOS does magic. Because clearly it still works. Still works in a war game. Like just don't let anybody have an unlimited D3 mortal wounds spell. Well, that's fine. Give them all spells that are actually meaningful. But it can be done. And then just give everybody a psychic discipline. I don't understand what the problem is. This is telling me to do something really weird, and I don't want to do it that way. Is there meant to be a gap? Can't imagine for the life of me that there is meant to be a gap, but there we go. That's really weird. I need to look at the model. Warhammer.com. Evander Garrius. There he is. Please tell me you've got a 360. Yay! Oh, there is a little gap. Okay, fine. Cool. Maybe I'm not insane then. A small selection of spells per faction would be great, even if they're done in the command phase or fit into other phases. No, something like that. Like I don't really mind how it's done. It's just like at the moment it's just like it's like James said, they're like guns with drawbacks. And then occasionally you have something which will just have some bonkers ability where you go, well, that's an auto take, that goes into the army. But then a lot of the other psychers just don't have something like that. The other thing I hope they get rid of is feel no pain for mortal wounds and psychic attacks. Because it's utterly pointless. It should just be put into either being a feel no pain or something else. Because it's one of those ones where it just gets forgotten about. Like a lot of people just forget about it. Never mind, found a game store on the shop app that had 2 bottles. Now I will have 2 bottles of Cryptek. Well, I'm jealous of you. I've only got the one. It'll last me, well, yeah, it has to last me forever unless I can find it somewhere. How much contrast paint do you have to drink to achieve that caveman build of yours? It's not so much drinking contrast paint that actually gets you to look like I do. It's start a YouTube channel, then sit down for four years. And then you'll start to look just like me. Have the world's worst sleeping pattern. The crucial thing is, though, sit down for 4 to 5 years. It's the main thing you gotta do. I couldn't attend till the end of Telling Many Warhipsters. What's the theme for this month? This month, it's... Oh. we're halfway there. Done. I don't look like you. My hair all fell out. False advertising. Look, it's the only way I know how. And doctors hate me for this one weird trick. You know? Picture again. Yeah, it looks right. I'd really love for them to bring in the modular rules for 40k, i.e. casual players don't need to worry about keeping up with the chat tournament scene and chapter approved. Yeah, that's a good one from AOS. That would be nice to see in 40k. I would like them to create rules that have restrictions in terms of how you build your armies, which therefore means that you have to put more thought into how it goes, rather than, as you say, you're building basically one or two builds. You're either going melee or you're going shoot. So that it means you can create much more thematic armies based on your faction. And as a consequence of there being restrictions put in place on what you can take in certain detachments, it then means that you can give those detachments better rules that reflect the army, because you can't create weird interactions, as it were. Whereas if you don't put those restrictions into the detachments, what invariably ends up happening is you go, well, here's this thing that does this, and it's really powerful if you take this in it, so we're gonna dumb it down. So like you can make the, let's just, for sake of argument, you can make the White Scars one, but all of its benefits are for mounted, and you go, well, okay, but they've done that so that you won't abuse like fast moving things in that army, such as like assault marines, for example. But then you end up in a situation where like Space Wolves players are playing it, and that's clearly not what was intended, if you see what I mean. So I think what you should have is there should be restrictions built into certain detachments and books that on lists to encourage you to play it the way that they envision you to play it, with the units that they envision you playing it, and as a consequence you get a lot of benefits to doing exactly that, rather than here's a not very good benefit for a not very good unit, if you see what I mean. Like you can make a jump pack assault army where it's very good for jump pack units, and the reason it's very good for jump pack units is you can only take jump pack units. But rather than it being like, here's one rule that leans you towards jump pack units, oh, but actually, this thing's just flat better. Do you know what I mean? This is dumb. Points for units should be specific to the chapter, so melters and flamers cost more for sallies and mounted cost more for white scars. Yeah, I could see that. The problem with that has always been, I do fundamentally agree with you. That yes, that is probably how it should be done. But I would argue that, what am I trying to say here? The reason it's not done that way is simplicity's sake. Because you don't want to have 20 iterations of the same unit entry, basically. All I'm hearing is jump pack Terminator should be a thing. Well, yeah, absolutely should be being. I'm inclined to agree with that. Hello, Fate Azura. Yeah, I mean that's another issue there, James. Is if you go, here's the Salamander's detachment. So here's the example, right? Here is a unit. Let's say Infernus Marines are really good. No, let's just go with Eradicators, right? Eradicators are really good on their own. Doesn't matter what detachment they go into, right? Or what army they're in. Eradicators are just a decent shout. Let's just say that, even if they're not. Okay, I understand. I'm not up to date with the competitive meta, but let's just say Eradicators are really good, right? If you point Eradicators at, let's say, 100 points in every army except Salamanders, where they get a nominal benefit. Let's say that the Salamanders rule specifically lets Eradicators get their full rerolls against infantry as well, which is a massive plus for them. But if there's other ways to do that in the book, you won't play them as Salamanders. You'll play them as something else, and you'll take 18 Eradicators, and you'll use the other thing, which is a cheaper or better way of doing it. Because that's the other thing they do now, is you don't have identity for your Space Marines. You have, or for any of your factions, really. What you have is you have the ability to play your Space Marines as any faction you damn well please. So that, as an example, is that all of the non-Blood Angels armies that were using the Grotmus detachment rules. Because of the character units getting all of the benefits, right? So it was like, well, if you just don't take Dante, you get all of these. Dante, Mephiston, Lamatis, or Asterath, or a Sanguinary Priest. Let's just take something else and use that detachment, right? And get all of those benefits. There used to be something that I used to be a... so in Age of Sigmar, long time ago, there used to be... In Age of Sigmar First Edition, I think in Second Edition as well, but in Age of Sigmar First Edition for sure, they used to have War Scroll battalions. War Scroll battalions were like detachments in 7th Edition, which were... stuff like the infamous Gladius Strike Force, which consisted of 2 detachments. So you took a demi company and something else, and then that gave everything in the army free transports. Right? That was the thing. So War Scroll battalions used to be a case of you had a War Scroll battalion. If you filled the requirements for the War Scroll battalion, you got those rules for that battalion to use, and generally for the entire army. Right? So the way it worked in Age of Sigmar was, though, that you paid points for those. So if you used the War Scroll battalion, you paid points for those rules. In 7th edition, you never did. You just got it for free, which is why it was insane. Now, I think if you have a points mechanic to purchase rules, it makes a lot of sense, basically. Well, and that's the problem that they run into now, Demogorgon. So when you... Space Marines are always a great example. With Space Marines, when something starts to do really, really well, like the T-shirt cannons, what they call Desolation Marines, they are so expensive now because of how oppressively good they are. And they're particularly oppressively good in one thing, which means everybody suffers. But it's a lot of bookkeeping, a lot of work to track. Desolation Marines cost 200 points in all of these in all of these detachments, except this one where they cost 350. Which is where I feel like you should start at the army list level. You should, and this is where I would advocate for returning to a combined arms detachment. In that you would have a generic thing that you build with the restrictions built in. You have battlefield roles actually return to 41st Millennium as well, and you essentially you build your army list and then you pay points to add in rules, right? So you build your Space Marines army, and then it costs you 100 points to take Iron Hands doctrines, and because you've paid 100 points to take Iron Hands doctrines, it means you get rerolls on all of your heavy weapons, let's just say that, right? And so on and so forth. That would be what I would advocate for as a change. Because then you weigh up taking how many of the good thing versus the rules that make them even better. See what I mean? This is a truly awful piece of paper. Good evening, Chewie. Let's look up Sigismund. Let's look at the picture. So he slots in there. Okay. Well, I guess we'll keep going. This is a very, 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 very difficult model to put together. It's annoying me. It goes that way round, but there's stuff I need to take off it. Okay. I'm late. Did we already discuss how amazing it is they redid drop pods? I'm so happy they're not going to Legends. I can only hope same goes for some of the other Firstborn iconic vehicles. That would be interesting. What if the Razorback makes a glorious return and can actually transport things? We did briefly touch on it, yeah. I'm excited for drop pods. James encountered a bunch of people that were not excited for drop pods and were just being salty about it. For some reason. But James is excited for drop pods. Also, I saw there, Pritters, that you said bring back points on the loadouts for your models. Yeah, that is something that I think should absolutely be considered for 40k. I think trying to do the Age of Sigmar thing, but having the amount of options that you have in particularly legacy kits for 40k wasn't really ever gonna work. I don't think it was ever gonna be a good idea, because it does just mean that, you know, the best loadout is the one that you take, as it were. It just doesn't make sense to me that that they ever thought that was really going to work. Now, does it mean that you weren't punished at the beginning of 10th edition for having specific things? Yeah, absolutely. That was a really good thing. But the problem with it has been, the problem with the you don't pay for loadouts basically has been that they kind of half-heartedly did make you pay for loadouts, and they kind of did half-heartedly change some of the things for certain armies where they just, for whatever reason, they just don't like lightning claws, for example. So stuff like the Vanguard veterans and stuff having access to heirloom relic weapons or heirloom weapons or whatever it's called, which just encompasses all of the weapons that they could possibly have, and now it's strength 6 -2 damage 2. That was a terrible decision, but that's clearly where they've gone, right, we're just going to lump all the weapons together and make that a simple data sheet. But they haven't then done that for, let's say, Devastator squads. Devastator squads aren't equipped with Space Marine heavy weapons. They're equipped with las cannon, grav cannon, missile launcher, flame, blah, 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 which is just a strange thing to do. So it's like, either do it all or don't do it at all. You see what I mean? Also, Alex, fellow Thane, spotted Joe is banging the drum on Facebook for Chaos to be given Redeemers. Oh, Joe. You silly goose. Chaos don't get nice things. Having been in 30k for a little while, I can see where points for gear is good. I think having different variety of bolt rifle is strange and maybe not needed again, but definitely needed for melee weapons. Yeah, I mean that's fine. I mean, so this is the thing: is you can streamline the game in such a way where you either streamline all of it or you don't streamline any of it, and they kind of half did it in weird ways on certain things. Like I said, that I think the Devastator squad example is a really good example of that. Because, like I said, you can take a squad of 5 Devastators with 4 las cannons in it, and that's pointed exactly the same as a squad of 5 Devastators with 4 heavy bolters in it, which is slightly insane because matchup dependent, one will be significantly more efficient than t'other. Which is just naturally what was always going to happen there, right? So it becomes this thing of like, well, either we streamline the whole thing, or we put the points costs in on everything so that people can still make their own kind of granular decisions about what they're going to do. So yeah, it's a slightly backwards way of doing things. And like I said, I 100% would advocate for returning to a combined arms detachment system of your how you build your armies, rather than, you know, it being the way it is. You can and arguably should build in barriers for the competitive game if the competitive game is what you focus on. And if they say we don't focus on the competitive game, then I would ask, why is 10th edition built from the ground up from ITC if it's not focused on competitive, which it clearly is. There isn't an open war way of playing Warhammer 40,000. You see what I mean? It's all, you have to play. What is it? Pariah Nexus at the moment. Going to be Armageddon. Is that right? Or is it just called Chapter Approved now? Either way, it's designed not for the casual gamer at the moment. It's designed for the competitive gamer to get the most out of their army at all times. So the fact that you only have to have one character, not that you do only take one character, but the fact that you only have to have one character and then can fill it with whatever you want, the only restriction is you can't take more than 3 of one thing, is like, come on now. And it's like, I wasn't really complaining about the fact that if I wanted to take a battalion detachment, I had to have 3 units of battle line so I could get the maximum amount of CP. Do you see what I mean? I really liked that. It meant I had to have troops on the board, and there was also a somewhat tangible benefit to having troops on the board. Because being battle line used to kind of mean something a little bit more. I mean, I know it means a little bit more now, again, after some change or whatever that they've made, but it still doesn't really mean enough, as it were. So, if you returned it to a CAD system, or a battlefield roll type system, where you were restricted in the amount of battlefield rolls you could take, sure, what you might see is people take, again, to use the example of the Eradicators, you might see people take 3 Eradicators to fill up their heavy support slot. But that's it. They've used up their heavy support slots. They're not taking 3 Eradicators, 3 Devastator squads, 3 Vindicator tanks. You see what I mean? They're taking either 1 of each of those or 3 of the one thing. And it makes it easier to track from a meta point of view, because if you go, I'm facing Space Marines, I know what they're going to have in their heavy support slot, as it were, because it's going to be this, because that's the best thing that is available to Space Marines, as it were. Hot take, the gameplay's better at 1500 points. Yeah, I agree. 9th was the sweet spot of army structure. What was the 9th edition army structure? I can't remember it. I remember 8th edition really well. Well, 9th edition was an extension of 8th, right? Am I misremembering that? I didn't play enough 9th edition. I kind of think of 9th edition as being a little bit of like the lost edition. Because of the pandemic. We spent much of it not being able to play it. A great deal of it was spent not playing it. Sigismund's hand doesn't want to glue on. Oh, that's where the bolt pistol goes. Okay. I like that you had to take battle lines so your army was more like a real army rather than a group of elites. Yeah, that is a big criticism I have of 40k is armies don't look like armies. A lot of the time. A lot of the time they don't. They just, you know, you just take the best stuff. Because why would you not take the best stuff? There's nothing stopping you from only taking the best stuff. I have some really wacky ideas though about how I would change 40k. Would you like to hear some? I guarantee you some of you won't like most of them. Painting up 10 striking scorpions using your video as a rough guide. Is there anything you'd change about it in hindsight? There is not needful things. I like that striking scorpions guide. As it is. You're going to turn 40k into AOS, aren't you? No. No. Yes. No. Would you change anything in your older dragon videos now that we have a larger contrast and shade range? Yeah, there's a couple of things. I mean, like, getting, like, the softer belly, I would probably use Seraphim Sepia to do that, rather than using Thin Down Skeleton Horde, which I'm sure I've used in those videos. I can't really remember, but Seraphim Sepia would definitely be a replacement. I would probably make some of the mixes a little bit more simple by using Lamium Medium rather than Contrast Medium, just make them a little bit easier to apply. But there's not too much in terms of colour choices I would change. Do you get a chance to play many games of AOS or 40k? No, not really, which is a bit sad. I wanted to boast a little bit. Today is the 150th day of my hobby streak. At least one mini painted each day. By the way, are there plans for releasing the video for the Sanctifier's kill team? I haven't filmed it. Congratulations on 150 days. That's very, very impressive. Well done. That is a lot of work. Good stuff. I would have to film it. I'd have to paint it and film it to do the Sanctifiers, which I haven't done, but a lot of people are now asking me for it. So watch this space. We'll see if we get some time to do it. But the problem with that video is it's 11 models that all look completely different, so it's a lot of work to do it. So I need a good chunk of days to be able to give you a confirmation on a date of when I could do it. And at the moment, I don't have 3 days spare. I have maybe a day spare this week to do some stuff, and I've already got stuff that I need to do for that day, so it's not really a day that's spare. But never say never. Making battle line scoring will do what it did for Horus Heresy for sure. Make armies with better battle line units the meta. That's true. 150 is amazing. I'm on day 618. Cannot stop. I tried. Bloody hell, James. I'm meant to be the professional here, and everybody is just showing me up. Hello, Star. How you doing? Is work any better for you? Last time I saw you, you said it was really manic at the minute. I am at 55 models painted for the year and hope to paint 100 by December 31st. Oh, I'm sure you will, Colonel. We're only 4 months in. Not even that. We're 3.5 months in, nearly. We've just gone past Q1 of the year. I hope to get to 500 models this year. And I also hope to get to 100,000 subscribers. So if you're not already, and you're watching right now, please help a Josh out. Please subscribe. To the channel. And make a Warhipster's dreams come true. 100k sub special is a cool centerpiece showcase stream. Yeah? If it looks like it's likely to happen, I'll plan something spectacular to do for 100k. But at the moment, it is now, because we've hit a down patch. So subscriber numbers are down, viewer numbers are down, watch time is down, revenue is down. It's all down at the moment. We had a really good burst around the Emperor's Children. Naturally, we were always going to. It might pick up again with the next range of next step of the next wave of releases for the Emperor's Children. But who knows? But at the moment, everything's in the toilet. So you know, I just got to work a bit harder and get a few more videos out. Is perhaps the tonic for that particular problem. I think we can sub-cry at least. I mean, if you want to have a good cry, have a good cry, you know? I fully endorse a good cry. Bard's family will give you a burst. Yeah, burst blood vessel. Fulgrim to the rescue. Maybe Fulgrim will be good. I don't know. You can never predict these things. The Noise Marines did really well, as we know. They were my first ever video to get 10,000 views in the first 24 hours of being uploaded, which was a very special, very, very special milestone for the channel. And then, yeah, it just all dropped off again. Barrow Guard did alright, but the Barrow Knights were, again, worst performing video of the last month. Why do I feel like he's on the wonk? He looks like he's on the wonk there. And he shouldn't be. Yeah, that looks to be the right positioning for him. Okay, we'll go with that. Sigismund. Are you working with Resin today? Yeah. Did the EC alternative painting schemes do well? Not particularly. It didn't do badly. It didn't do greatly. Okay, what's the orientation here? I think that's the orientation. Yeah, so here's the question mark at this point. We're nearly at the end of the stream, guys. So this needs to go on this base that's hiding in here. And I think this is the correct orientation for it. It looks to be the correct orientation. but I'm not entirely sure. Any tips for assembling resin models? Have Hermiata sat on my desk and he's very scary. Just have to take it really, really, really slowly. Do a lot of dry fitting. Because you have to use super glue for it. So I'm going to do that. And just do that. Warhipster streams gave help massively. After hardly painting at all because I got disheartened, I am now on 54 completed models. That's awesome. I accidentally bought a metal model kit for some motorcycle guys from Infinity. Is there a trick to working with metal models? Not really. It's the same sort of thing. It's like just kind of dry fit stuff. Make sure you're following. Just always. It's basically like resin, only you know worse because it's a worse. It's worse material to work with. Just like check it, double check it, and triple check it. I'm guessing this is his scenic base, right? Now, theoretically, I should be able to just slot him out. There we go. So he should be all good. So we have to just see where these bits go. Because I'm not sure. I'm also unsure as to whether or not this is going to be one of those older... Well, I mean, it is older, but whether it's going to be one of those Horus Heresy character series kits where it's like, hey, there's two things that keep the model together on the thingy. On the scenic character base. Perfectly timed, Mr. Josh. Great stream as always. Hopping off to watch that other bearded wonder. Send Liam my love. How would you redo a model's paint job? Would you just do touch-ups or get a new model? I would do touch-ups, or I would strip it if I had to. If I had to do something like that. Save your money, you know. Unless, of course, money is no object. Unless you go on here. I don't think you do, though. Pretty certain you go there. But I don't understand where this bit goes. Oh, it's very confusing. Let me just check. What? Does it go on? Oh, right. Okay. I figured it out. Don't you worry, Jack. I'm not completely stupid. Oh no, wait, hang on. Maybe I am. No, I'm not. Okay, so there's these two bits of track here, which go on this model. This one definitely goes here. And this one is this bit here. That goes in there. It doesn't go like that. Hopefully I'll be able to catch Wednesday's stream, Mr. the Warhipster. I hope to see you on Wednesday as well. Okay. Spot of glue. Okay, I'm just gonna take a little bit more off of this so that it goes in flat. Yeah, that'll do. There we go. That's that one done. Spot of glue. Do that. Okay. Ah! Right. That's that bit built. And then he slides into that. Like so. And then this slides in. I have to just change his orientation slightly. There you go. So what I just have to do, the last thing I have to do basically here is figure out where he goes. Well, not him, but where the main jobby goes. So we're just gonna pop some blobs. And we'll use this as a guide without him on it. And I feel like that is where it should be. Maybe just a little bit more that way. There we go. That feels... oh no. That feels correct to me. Just gonna check it one more time. As long as the main structure of the base is actually on the base, you see. Yeah. Placed. Done. We have built Sigismund and Evander Garrius. And then we just hope under its own weight it bonds. Otherwise that's going to be really, really annoying. But there we go. Built everything I set out to do today. Well, on stream. Yeah. Okay. Well, we have roughly 5 more minutes. So does anybody have any burning questions? Thoughts, desires, insults, compliments, stories, anecdotes? Pretty much the same thing. Advice? Super chats? Any memberships? Now is the time. What is the question? What is the secret to your glorious beard? Just kidding. It's not actually that glorious. I mean, it's large. It's large and in charge. I use a bit of Kalamazoo from Lush. That's all I use in it. Whenever I have a shower, just wash my face, wash my beard with Kalamazoo. And that's it. This video is coming very soon. Really tired of other people throwing things on me to talk to a customer about because they are too scared. Philip, I know exactly that feeling. I used to work in customer service and I hated it. People used to do that to me all the time. And it was the worst. I missed yesterday's stream, but I hope you liked my nids. I loved your nids, Chewy. Ola Fischt. That's how you're supposed to pronounce it. Of course we ran into problems with that. And you knew we were going to run into problems with that. What is best in life? Stormcast Eternals. That's what's best in life. He's bigger than I thought. Yeah, he's chunky. He's very chunky. He is... I will measure him for you now. From the underside of the base, from the bottom of the base rim to the top of the... He is roughly 6 inches tall, maybe 6.1. 6.2 inches tall. Call it that. He's a big old boy. And as we discussed earlier on the stream, like, a lot of the pictures you see of him are from that angle there. So from this angle, like that. But actually, where His Majesty is there. Looking up at him. Like that. But this video is coming very soon. You'll get to see my favourite part of this video, which is the inside of the wings. I really love those. Outside of the wings is really cool as well. But like the inside of the wings, that fade from the green into the purple, I was really, really pleased with that. Thought it came out brilliantly. There's a lot going on in this video though, but should be okay. Lots of dry brushing. Lots of dry brushing. Bigger than Angron, right? Bigger than the Chaos Lord whose name escapes me. I haven't measured him. Because I don't want that faction, but it's the first week in a long time where I didn't buy something I don't need from GW. Good work. You resisted temptation. Right, it is now 7:45. We have built Evander Garrius. There he is. We have built Sigismund, the Black Blade, the Black Templar. We've built them both. They're both built. So that's good work. It's good strong work from today's stream. Tomorrow there will be an Emperor's Children painting video. It will probably be Fulgrim, because I've got to get it out sooner rather than later. But there will be a Fulgrim painting video for you tomorrow. There will be at least another painting video for you on Thursday and on Saturday, all from the Emperor's Children. As to whether or not there's one on Friday will depend on how successful I am painting this week for next week's videos, basically. So yeah, lots and lots of stuff to do. Will there be a Kassakin tutorial? Eventually there will be, yes. I just need to paint the other 5 in the unit that I haven't done yet. But don't worry, it will happen once I can circle back to the guard. But for the next couple of weeks, I'm really busy. I'm busy right up until I'm basically busy up until UK Games Expo. So, and that's the end of May. But we shall see what happens. Some things change, some things move around, and some things don't get done at all. So we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, plenty of content coming your way this week, all for the Emperor's Children. There will be more content next week. We should be live again on Wednesday. Sorry we weren't live last Wednesday. The reason I didn't go live last Wednesday was because I was trying to finish Fulgrim, and I needed the time, so I took the time and I did it. But anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I will speak to you all again on Wednesday live. And if I don't speak to you on Wednesday, then we will be back live next Monday again. So thank you very much for all of the likes on the stream, the memberships, and the super chat. And I will see you all in the next one. Here is the hand of farewell. You guys kick ass, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now, you gorgeous people.